All right, so I've gone pretty much like, I'd say 2 months, touch wood, no neck strain, which is a huge win for me. So I've been doing this pretty much before every single session, a bit of shoulder elevation, scap retraction, so both functions of the traps, which will get that area nice and warm for me, and then warming up the upper back as well. So this has been pretty key in terms of, especially with the load bearing on my traps and shoulders with the hack squats now. This is essential. If I don't do this, it's almost a given that I'm going to tweak my neck, and then coming into push, I can't stabilize presses, so it's game over. So I need to stay on top of this, and luckily enough, like I said, touch wood, everything's been good recently. So I think actually a point that I've never really mentioned before, really good if you're struggling to connect with a body part. So take on board this if you've got a weaker body part, etc. is use your warm-ups to actually really instill that mind-muscle connection, so that when you do go into your loading sets, you know that it's already there. Even if on your loading sets, the sensation isn't as much as a warm-up set, because of course the actual work that you're putting into the set, the work capacity goes up. So when work capacity goes up, often feel comes down a little bit. We talked about this a little bit before. Chasing feel versus actually having enough weight on the machine. So find the muscle in the warm-ups, get it on the muscle, and then when you come to loading it, if you're moving through that same range, if you're with the same control, it's inevitable it's going to be on the muscle whether you feel it or not. 7th place. That's crazy, man. If you want to do stuff like that, you've just absolutely got to believe in yourself deep down, 100%. There can be absolutely zero doubt. Zero doubt. And if you fixate that in your mind, you can do 7, you can do 8, you can do whatever you really want, as long as you see it as a possibility. The moment you see it as not a possibility is the moment you won't do things like that. Bottom line. Bottom line. The last rep, when I came up on the 3rd, I couldn't see anything. My eyes were so starry. And I was like, oh, this is probably a heavy set. But number 1, number 2, and even number 3, it didn't even feel like there was anything on my back. So I was just completely numb to it.
You see it straight from the unrack then? Like straight from the unrack?
This is where I really agree with Jordan, obviously one of my sort of huge role models in this game, is that really isn't bodybuilding, you know. That isn't bodybuilding training, really. It has so much merit and cross-transfer, but that acutely in that moment isn't really bodybuilding. A 4-rep set with a risky amount of load, but what that does is make my 10s and my 8s, my pause sets feel like easy in comparison. So then I'm able to do way more load on those sets in the hypertrophy bodybuilding ranges than I would ever be able to do if I had not done that kind of set. So it's more of like, again, you know, people will be quick to like diss Jordan or take the piss or say that touching new weights is a bad idea. But those are the people that also are not doing this stuff. They've never done it. They've not really probably got the balls to do it either. It takes a lot of minerals to be able to do things like that, and then constantly try and pursue more. You know, not just say, oh, I've hit this goal, now it's done. You know, now it's about, okay, what can I actually do next? That can then make that 7 plate set 10 reps. And then I'm doing 7 plates for 10 reps, which from a quad standpoint, there's very few natural bodybuilders doing 7 plates for 10 reps. So that's the next.
All right, let's go. Lovely. Awesome, easy work. Come on. Yeah, good. Come on now. Again, come on. Compose yourself. We go again. Oh, you. Lovely.
Oh!
Very nice.
Woo! You don't see anyone at a pro level in sport give up. It's just not even an option for them. It doesn't even compute into their heads that they can give up or give in. Not at all. Like, we're watching at the moment, again, we talked about this in another video, but we watch a lot of these like sport documentaries because we really like them, and they're also really helpful to relate back to what we do. So we're watching one about Tour de France at the moment. There was a guy last night that just kept getting hit off and in crashes and fell off, but every single time, even when he literally tore his glute. He tore his glute. I'm not saying that if I tear my glute on this, I'm going to do another set, 'cause I probably will leave the gym at that point. Because that would be smart. But, you know, like, there's a level of like dedication that, especially at that professional game in sport, you know, you don't have room to give up or to give in. So a bad session is like such a minor variable that if that convinces you that you should leave or give up on that session, then you're going to find a lot of these bodybuilding things very difficult. Very difficult. You're going to have to build a lot more resilience than that. Simple as.